A very warm welcome to all my listeners all across the globe. This is George Nathaniel for you. Well, as I always do, I come back with very simple topics that relates to each one of you. Topics that are very positive, topics that are motivational and topics that are very realistic to our life. Well, what is my topic for today? Well, my topic for today is courage to courageous. Courage to courageous is a huge topic that each one of us can ponder about. Each one of us can give it a thought to understand what is just having the courage and what is being courageous. But before I go to the topic, let me share a two-liner that I have written by myself on this topic. Well, I would say in simple terms, courage is to think beyond, and courageous is working towards the unknown. Fail or succeed, no one knows, but the journey leads to a new destination as a landmark. Well, this is something very interesting, and this should give each one of us a zeal to go beyond our own expectation or go beyond our thoughts, go beyond our actions, and of course, make life even much more beautiful. Well, relating to our personal lives, our professional lives, and relating to all the experiences, let me share some insights on this topic, courage to courageous. But before I go to the insights, let me share what my dad had shared with me as an advice. My dad was a very noble person, somebody who was very far-sighted, somebody who was very well educated, and somebody who knew the world at the tip of his fingers. We all called him Jack because he was a jack of all trades, and he was kind of super intelligent that we looked up to him. So when I went to him on advice once, he gave me a very simple advice, something that I got confused over. He asked me, "You play a sport, but does that call you a sportsman?" Quite confidently I said, "Yes, I do play a sport, and I call myself a sportsman." Then, knowing my dad as he would do, he came down to me in very simple words, explaining how I should look at courage to courageous. He said, playing a sport is similar to going to school. It's building your knowledge base, building your foundation, building your experience over life, building your experience about the present and the future. Similarly, when you relate to somebody as a sportsman, it also involves the same thing of building his life over his goals. I was now confused. I asked him to simplify what he was trying to say. Then he came to me in very simple words. He said, as a player you play different sports. Now when you play different sports, either you're playing them as a hobby or as a part-time or as a calendar schedule over your school days or with your friends or maybe as growing up. But when you look at sports in a professional way, when you look at a sportsman as I would relate it, it involves a lot of processes, a lot of professional ways which needs to be adapted, from training to grooming to an attitude to everything. And taking sports as a career, to call oneself a sportsman, it would take a lot. It starts with a lifestyle, develops with an attitude, grows into skill, and takes routine practice over life. And as we transform from just playing a sport to being a sportsman or a proficient sportsman, it means a lot, and of course it takes a lot of training and expertise over time. At that age, well, I was like, so much, this is too much of knowledge for me. I'm sure each one of us would have felt the same. Then I went back to him and told him, can you make it a little more simpler? Then his second version was very simple. He says, it takes courage to think beyond doing the ordinary. And we need to grow that courage to being courageous, to excel over new heights and go beyond the unknown. because we do not know what lies beyond that results, what lies beyond growing your responsibilities, what lies beyond building expectations. So that was quite clear to me. And then I understood, okay, that there are few very important takeaways. And these key takeaways is what I would share with you today. Well, number one on the list is, please listen very carefully. Courage is not being extraordinary. It is just building the determination to go beyond the ordinary. So whatever we do, we should take the courage to look over our potential, look over our goals, and we need to dream bigger, to achieve bigger goals, and to go across newer heights in life. Well, number two, courage is to take the highs and lows in the same stride, with the same zeal. Well, this is very, very important for each one of us. We need to value our efforts, and no matter whatever the results, we have always moved over a new mark. So courage is taking the highs and lows in the same zeal. Number three is something that is very, very, very important. Courage and courageous is determined by the mindset, and for that we need to be independent and we need to be visionary. So as we relate to our personal lives, as we relate to our professional lives, as we relate to our contribution in life, let us understand how we can take courage to courageously being different, how we can add value to our lives, to other lives, how we can add value to the surroundings. So this is something that I put into words, and I hope you understand and relate to it. My topics are very, very generic because each one of us has a different vision, each one of us has a different goal, and each one of us at a different sphere in life. But no matter whatever happens, let us take our courage, grow it into courageous, and let us come up with something different, something new over achieving our goals in life or towards our contribution in life. I hope you like listening to my podcast. This is George Nathaniel. I do have my website, which is georgenathaniel.net. Please come into my website, read my blogs. My podcasts are available across all platforms. Come and listen to my podcast, put in a request. I will be happy to come back and talk over your topics or your subjects in the most simplified way, over ways that I have learned, or the advice that I have been giving all through my life. It's very important to share positivity. It's very important to share good knowledge. And most importantly, it's very important to be a part of wellness all around you. I hope you like listening to me. This is George Nathaniel. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a wonderful time ahead.